I'm aware that there are still some people who believe that UKIP is a racist party. I think the reason they believe that UKIP is a racist party is because UKIP is the only party that's talking about implementing a sensible immigration policy and controlling the numbers of people coming into Britain. Now, of course, our reason for doing that is that we believe that it's in the interests of the British people, those who are trying to earn a living and get a decent job, to address this massive imbalance in demand and supply in the labour market. But the question remains, is UKIP a racist party? My answer is absolutely not. UKIP, I would argue, is the only party in British politics that is not racist. And the reason is that the other political parties believe that you should be able to come to Britain if you're European, and if you're not European, you should have to jump through hoops. Conversely, UKIP is the only political party in Britain that believes that people should be allowed to come and settle and work here purely on the basis of merit and with absolutely no regard to the country they've come from or the colour of their skin. A lot of my constituents tell me on the doorstep that they don't trust politicians anymore. And that's because we all know that typically politicians spend 6 months before a general election lying to us and making promises that they have no power to keep and no intention of keeping. Now, UKIP is different because UKIP is pushing to have a policy in place that will mean that if we get elected on the basis of promises that we make and subsequently we prove that we have no intention of keeping those promises, if enough of the electorate sign a petition, that will trigger a by-election and you can boot us out. No other party is pushing for that. Some people still think that UKIP wants to privatise the NHS. Now, I'd like to make it absolutely clear that UKIP has no intention whatsoever of privatising the NHS. And in fact, UKIP is the only party that doesn't want a privatised NHS. Very briefly, I'll prove that because Labour introduced PFIs in 2003. They already privatised 4% of the NHS. Then the Conservatives and Liberals further privatised another 2.5% of the NHS. So if anybody tells you that UKIP wants to privatise the NHS, please don't believe it. It's a lie, it's untrue, and it has no basis.